Welcome back to another Joyride video. If you're just joining us, we picked up a 1963 C10 from an estate sale that was left abandoned in a field. We discovered a few issues with it after getting it running, and now we're going to ruin it with some bags. In part 1, we installed the bags and brackets. In this episode, we finish up the install and slam her to the ground. We're finally starting part 2 of the bags. If you caught part 1 of this, we already installed the bags, the brackets, the plates, all the fun stuff, the hard stuff. But this one, we're gonna basically run all the lines. We're gonna hook up the tank, the compressor, and then the gauges, controls, all that stuff. Right now, as you see, I've got the truck out here on some jack stands because the garage is pretty much being used for the 68. If you guys haven't seen this, this is the new addition to the Joyride family. We just got this car, so you got to check out the unveiling video of this. The GT500. As you see, it is raining outside. That's why we got this tent set up. We really need a bigger garage. Definitely planning to build a big garage over here. We're running out of space. We don't have enough space to work on all the projects that we have. In the previous video, the frame wasn't done. I did do a video on basically the different products I used on this. Did not do the dry shaft just because we're probably going to end up having to change that anyway, so I wasn't even going to bother doing it. Here's the bracket clay welded up for us, and this is basically where we're going to mount the tank. It's just sitting in there right now. If you're just joining us for this video, this is an easy air ride kit. It's basically one of the most simplest kits you can get for these. Everything is self-explanatory. As soon as you open the box, every single bag, every single bolt, every single fitting is labeled to exactly where it goes, so you can't mess it up. There's the bags and the plates. All right, Clay's over here right now. He was looking for a tripod stand for his camera. You gotta check out his channel too, because he's also making a video of this for his channel as well. They're probably not even gonna recognize you now, dude. What is up with this?
Somebody decided to clean up.
Oh man, you don't look homeless anymore.
I know.
Yeah, put him in a YouTube video and he shaves.
Yeah.
We were about to just say scratch the idea, but then I was just like, you know what? Let's just see what we can get done tonight. It's pretty late, but we got to working on the Camaro, and I've got a part that's coming in tomorrow, and I don't want to put everything back together, drop it down and all that, and this truck's not going to fit underneath. Too many projects going on. There's a bunch of connectors and fittings that we have to connect on here, so that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to take these inside, assemble the gauges. All right, so pretty much have the instructions that tells you everything that you need to follow, so we shouldn't mess this up. I put a little bit of Teflon on there. I'm also gonna add a little Loctite, just to make sure nothing's leaking. Just gonna mock this up. Well, it's done. Try to give you guys a little bit of a time lapse, but this took forever. Probably went through about 5 camera batteries, 7 SD cards, and we finally got it. It's basically these connectors were a pain in the butt. We actually took a lighter, heated up the opposite end just to get it warm enough to where it wouldn't melt the hose, but we can get it all the way on. So far with this kit, I guess, you know, not everything's perfect, but one thing that would make it just a little bit better would be have the quick connect fittings for all of these. That would have just saved so much time and made it a whole lot faster. But hey, we got it done. Next step. So let me explain to you what we got. These 2 lines that come out from the bottom right here, this is going to be the supply that's going to go to the air tank. These will go to each bag, and that's pretty much what you got. Paddle valves right here. Pretty simple. Looks confusing, but it's really not. Got Clay right here trying to explain how the gauges and the paddles work. How do these things work, Clay?
So you got 2 gauges here.
You gonna record with yours too, so you get it all done at one time?
I might as well.
So you got different color needles for each bag.
Right.
Sweet. Yeah, we
Pretty much we're gonna take this and mount it up under the dash, or kind of like where in the middle of the dash, so like where the radio is.
Yeah. So next step, what we're gonna do right now, we're basically gonna bolt the compressor down and then bolt the tank down, so all that's secure, and then we'll just run all the lines and run everything to it. Dude, you gotta grow that beard back, man. People aren't gonna think you know what you're doing now. You look so young now.
I like it.
The frame looks good, man. Clay did an awesome job on this bracket, dude. You did, man.
I gave it the old collars try.
So this is gonna hook in there, but there's a special fitting that I actually had to run to Lowe's and get it because I used the fitting that Steve supplied with the kit on my compressor because I didn't want to run to the store when I was hooking up my new compressor. Look at this. Clay just broke out with the thread dope. So you could either use your Teflon tape or thread dope.
So darn messy.
Darn gone, daggone.
I'll tell you one thing.
We're gonna put it right here in the side of the tank. Yep, there we go. Now we just gotta tighten her down with a wrench. So now that the compressor is mounted, we've got it lined into the tank. I'm gonna go ahead and take the rest of these fittings. We're gonna basically hook all the fittings up to the tank, and then we're gonna bolt the tank down. There's the pitcock right there. Everything's labeled. That goes on the bottom of the tank. Right here is the airline fittings. There's two. And then those go into the front half of the tank right there where you see those two red caps. This right here is kind of cool. This is like an air chuck. What would you call this? Because this is like a little bonus thing that Steve throws in with his kits. You can hook up anything. You can put air in your tire. You can even hook up an air tool, whatever you want to do. So this thing is actually like a pretty cool feature. So if you've got any type of pneumatic tools, you can use that. So if you get a flat, you can put air in it.
Get a wrench?
Put a wrench on there. It's the wrong size, dude. No, be nice. Look, it's gonna be this one.
On that mouth. Run your mouth. Probably the first time you've ever had to use these things.
Easy, easy, Clay.
Pretty much all the way out.
Yep, you just turn it all the way out. That's letting air out. And then you tighten it up. Bam.
You twist it in to let the air out.
Twist it in to let the air out?
Twist it in to let the air out.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
No. You loosen it up to let air out, and then you tighten it to keep air from getting, keep the air in.
It this way.
Yeah, you leave it tight.
That's what I'm saying.
No, that's not what you said. No, you said you twist it out. Whatever. For this end of the tank, you got this brass T fitting right here. That's going to basically go onto the end, and then this is a brass Schrader valve. That is a cool feature, so you can actually put air into the tank. So let's say the compressor stops working, but you need to get air into the tank. You could just hook up any other compressor or an airline, or stop at a gas station or anything, and then put air into your tank. Let's get this all in, and you'll understand once it's all in. Blaze over there.
Getting all doped up.
Look at that. Look at that. And then there's another fitting. I've got all kinds of fittings everywhere. This part is probably really boring. Watching sitting there threading fittings and all that stuff in here. But wait until this stuff is done. Right now we're on jack stands. When this thing's sitting on the ground, it's gonna look sweet. It's gonna be worth it in the end. Let me just say, like, to install this kit should not take as long as it took us.
Realistically, you could have this done in a day.
In a day.
Right.
I would say
if you're by yourself, like 100 times, that's how I am.
Yeah.
By myself.
On an older vehicle, you got to take into account like all the bolts that broke. And I'd say, me personally, I'd say just plan a weekend.
Use your strong hand.
Now all we got to do is just run all the lines to the gauges, and then the lines to the bags, and then wire up the compressor. And we should be good. I'm gonna go ahead and bolt the tank down to the frame. Clay is pulling out all of this hose. First is running the supply line into the cab. We're gonna figure out where we're gonna run the line through. I know we talked about it before. What we're gonna do here is, there's a giant hole right there where the clutch cable line goes through. Eventually, we're not even gonna be using that, because once we switch this over to the automatic, basically we're just gonna have a gaping hole right there. So we're gonna take advantage of that hole, and that's where we're gonna send all of our airlines through. From the
we're gonna start
bag.
from the rear, and then we're gonna run up this way.
Okay, so we'll come up the frame rail, and then we'll come all the way up into the cab, and then you just basically just push it in there, and then you hear that little snap. She's in there. That's it. And then after we get all this done, I'll come through and tidy and make everything look all neat. And we're gonna leave a little bit of slack right here, just so we can.
Yeah, you get to lay up underneath the truck.
Yeah, because we took it off.
You sure you know how to work on stuff?
No.
Me neither.
Dude, we should have this thing wrapped up in, what, an hour? It's not gonna be an hour, I promise you. Not very good on time management, I can promise you that. But here, got everything pretty much set out on the table. This is all we got left. We gotta run the rest of the airline hoses to each bag. We've got all the electrical, we just gotta do all that. We've got this relay that we've gotta put in. We've got the gauges. This is the wiring for the bulbs right there. This is an inline fuse, which will come right off the battery, goes straight to this relay. I think we're gonna mount this relay right there. There's already a wire with a screw and a ground, so I'm just pull that out and I'll just mount that relay right there. Later on, I'll probably move it, clean everything up, but we're just gonna get these bags going so we could see this thing finally go up and down. That's what we've all been waiting for, is to actually see these things working. What's kind of cool is Steve, he throws in a new battery terminal. I already replaced my battery terminals, but this thing's really nice, so I think we might slap this one on here. If you guys need more specific details on installation on this, if you head over to Easy Air Ride, under each kit, Steve has instructions and guidelines to everything. I'll put up a wiring diagram right here and it'll show you the full wiring layout. I know watching wiring on videos can be a little bit confusing and a little hard to understand, so I'm going to try to do my best here and explain to you each thing. Sometimes what I like to do is label my wiring. This one right here is going to go to the battery, and this red wire, I believe, for my kit will not be used. Just want to make sure you get a good ground. This really isn't the ideal spot I would want to put this, but there was already a screw here. How does that work? Just goes in a complete circle. So we're gonna unhook this battery, leave everything unhooked until we're completely done with it, and then we're gonna just wire in this new battery terminal. This is gonna be power wire from the compressor to the battery. So we're basically taking this wire, run it all the way from the compressor, all the way up front to that relay. We're gonna put this 40 amp fuse in here. Took this wire, stuck it to the fuse box, so once ignition is on, lets us know when we got power. So now we got to get this button down, should be good to go, and then we're about to see these bags go up and down. Now it's run all the lines to the bags. I'm going to start with this one because this is going to be the furthest bag away, and then we're going to run that all the way up in there. So I'm leaving everything kind of loose in there. Just once it's all done, I'm going to go back through everything, button it up, clean it up. Okay, so yeah, got it labeled rear right, and go ahead, hook the hose up. She's in there. So this is the rear driver side. So now we're gonna pretty much install this right here. The way I'm gonna do is front left, front right, rear left, rear right, and that way, so if I want to do the two fronts at the same time or the two rears at the same time, I use those two fingers. Heat it up with a lighter just a little bit, just enough to get it to go on front right. So this is where this Schrader valve is going to come in handy. That in there. This is going to basically allow us to put air into the tank. I think this door is kind of open. So we put the bed back on there. We want to get the full effect. We didn't put the rear bumper back on yet. Need to clean up that tank, but there is all the magic right underneath there. So, and then you've got this quick release piece right there. So if we want to hook up air or do anything, we got that. There's our bags. We got new shocks too, but haven't put those on. We'll put those on later. Got new shocks for the front. Quick look around. There's the front bag. Later on, we're gonna do 2-inch drop spindles on it. Show you everything underneath. And we're gonna just do a quick walk around. Battery terminal that we put on there, which wires everything up. Keep in mind, I have not gone through and cleaned up all my wiring and stuff. I am gonna make everything look a lot neater, tie everything down. It's the same with my air line. All my air hose is going through there. It's a little bit loose right now. We're just testing it out. We're gonna bring it up and down. But once everything's all done, I am going to go through and clean everything up, zip tie it all together, make it look nice. I mean, this is her pretty much all the way up. It's like monster truck status right there. What do you think, Tom?
33's under there, we'd be good to go.
All right, babe, you ready to do this?
Yeah.
You ready? You gonna air this thing down? Slam it, see how low she goes?
Yeah.
We're gonna let Laura do the first slamming on this. You get to do the first slamming of the C10. Yeah, come on, bud. Come on over here. You're fine.
Up and down truck?
We're gonna go up and down truck. Here, hold on, bud. Alright.
I want uppy.
Well, the truck's already up. These two on the left side. This is front left, front right. And then this is rear left, rear right. So that's up, up, and then you push them down, and that goes down. You want to do it, buddy?
I think Robin wants to do it.
Here, push them down. See? Isn't that cool? Hold those two, and I'll hold these two. Okay? You hold those two down, and I'll hold these two, and we're gonna go. The truck's gonna go down. 1, 2, 3, go. Hold them. Yep. Isn't that cool? Let's look at it. Is it all the way down? Here, hold the rears down, babe. They still got a little bit more. There you go. There we go. Now she's all the way down. Whoa.
Keep pushing.
Look at that. Isn't that cool? Alright, I think we're all the way up. We're going sideways. We'll be driving down the road, the truck's gonna be all sideways and crooked with these kids.
Can you drive like that?
I mean, yeah, you can.
You can
With my sister in it? Look, what did you say,
like that. Kids like it.
There you have it, we're finally bagged. The forgotten C10 is on the ground. Now that you see it on the truck, everything's working. It's got your approval?
I guess so.
We have to give a big shout out to Steve with Easy Air Ride. This is one of his kits, and I absolutely love it. It's super easy install. Now, me taking forever with my install, that's all on me because it actually looks super nice in the truck. Now that we have bags on the truck, now it makes me want to really get this other engine put in it and get this thing driving.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking that today. You're doing all this stuff and it doesn't even drive.
Right. So, yeah, it doesn't drive yet. We're going to swap the engine. We're actually taking out the inline 6. So if you guys are new and just joining this C10 build, we're actually taking that out. And then we've got our other engine sitting right here on the engine stand. This is a small block 350 4-bolt main. It came out of a 69 Impala. 300 horse, and then we've got the turbo 350 trans right there. We're gonna swap that in here, and once we do that, she should be right. Probably gonna have to tackle the braking system too. So next step, I think I want to try to get the engine in here, get this thing running, and then we're gonna have to tackle the brakes. I want to put a fuel cell in here and get the fuel tank out from behind the seat. We mounted the bed back on here, taking her one step at a time. We are gonna bring it down lower. We're gonna put some 2-inch drop spindles on this, and Clay was saying something about pocketing the lower control arms, and I'm thinking about C-notching the rear. I don't wanna go too crazy. We might go crazy, babe. With that being said, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. And again, if you're just joining us for these C10 videos, I have a playlist on the channel for all the C10 videos, so if you wanna go back and watch every video from the day we picked up this truck from the estate sale up until this point and further, check them out. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.